Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Nebraska's rifle team announced today that road matches scheduled for this weekend on January 22nd and 23rd against top-ranked Alaska Fairbanks and number 5 Air Force are canceled due to COVID-related illness within the Nebraska program. Women's basketball forward Alexis Markowski won her 4th Big Ten Freshman of the Week award, coming off a week in which she averaged 22 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.5 steals while shooting a 66.7% from the floor. In Sunday's game against Iowa alone, she proved her versatility, burying 6 of 7 shots from beyond the arc on her way to a career-high 27 points. In hour 2 of tonight's program, you'll hear from Markowski's head coach as Amy Williams joins Matt Coatney for the Women's Basketball Show. Elsewhere in college basketball tonight in Big Ten men's action, IUPUI is in Columbus to battle the 19th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, and that one is just underway. Spread in that one is 33 points, so best of luck to IUPUI there if they want to try and pull off the upset of the century. Maryland is taking on Michigan as that game is all set for tip-off. I believe it's just underway. And then later tonight, Northwestern will look for an upset as they play host to 8th-ranked Wisconsin. A few key men's top 25 games going on tonight. Baylor just putting the wraps on beating West Virginia 75-65 in the final minute of play. Number 7 Kansas hosts 12-5 Oklahoma. That game just started, and it's 2-0 Oklahoma. At 8 p.m., 6th-ranked Duke takes on Florida State. And also at 8 p.m., number 15, Iowa State takes on number 18, Texas Tech. No Big Ten women's games on tonight, and just one top 25 women's game. That one's already final. Number 21, Duke, topped Miami 58-49. That's the ticker. My name's Tim Mulhaupt, and you're listening to Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Looks for Hyvee, foul line extended right side. Dribble penetration, Sammy drives and scores. Jim Hyvee.
Great finish by Nebraska. They're back within a possession. Here's McGowan's driving the ball to the rim and jams it right in the face of Payne. Posterized him. Put him on the poster. Burge puts his head down, drives it, floater off the rim, in and out, offensive rebound, put back, up and good by Walker, up and good by Big D.
Moriarty going to take the baseline, and now she's going to drive underneath, reverse layup, good for Kendall Moriarty. Are you kidding me?
Now that is a big-time one-handed reverse layup by Moriarty.
12:45 to go. Here's Trey McGowan's with a 3. Got it! Trey McGowan's his first three-point attempt of the year. After sitting all these games with a broken foot, his first shot is gold.
82-73, the Iowa lead out top. Markowski for 3. You betcha! Markowski has hit 6 threes.
Unbelievable.
And she's got 27 points.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharp and Jessica Cootie on the Huskers Radio Network.
I feel like we need to reintroduce ourselves, right? I mean, you and I haven't hardly been together for like 2 weeks.
I know. I kind of forgot what it was like to come in here and do a show and be on live. It's like, what's going on?
Our last show together was last Tuesday, and you mentioned, I forgot, it was like a 20-minute show. It was really quick.
Yeah, it's been wild that we've not had, consistent shows, but I'm glad to be back. Lots to talk about.
Thank you for doing Wednesday's show. I was up in Omaha for the Allen Trophy, which you did a nice job putting together some videos for that. That was a great event. It was so good to see Will Shields again. He won the Tom Osborne Legacy Award. Tom did a great job introducing Will. Will gave a great speech. JoJo Doman was the only Husker that got there. The other 3 couldn't get there. Levi Falk was going to come. He won one of the Husker Awards, but he had a close contact with somebody that had COVID, so he couldn't come. And the other 2 guys are out. Ben Stille played in the Hula Bowl over the weekend, and Austin Allen's getting ready for an all-star game. But it was a fun night, and I appreciate you filling in here on Sports Nightly.
Yeah, it was a good show. Bill Bush was obviously great, was kind enough to spend some time. Boy, he is a storyteller. I saw him in the parking lot the next day. I said, hey, there is the star of Sports Nightly. You had a lot of people tuning in and liking all the things you had to say, and he said that his mom got to listen, so that was good. So, but yeah, you could just tell his excitement for being here. And, as we kind of talked about, you can understand why, as we have these conversations with these coaches about, as they get older, how they continue to evolve and relate to kids that are so much younger, you can understand why Bill Busch relates to so many different kinds of people of so many different, generations of ages and everything, because he's just genuine. And you can tell that, he is just a really good guy, and he is fun to be around, and is able to one of those rare type of people that relates to all kinds of kinds.
And, Jessica, thinking back to the fall, it checks a box that a lot of people wanted, and that was a special teams coach, somebody dedicated to that phase of the football program. And so, message heard, I think, from Scott Frost on down that they knew they needed to do this, and I think Bill's the perfect guy for it.
Yeah, and I think even big, too. I mean, despite he was already on staff as an analyst, but gosh, what a recruiter. What an asset you're getting also, that he can actually go out on the recruiting trail now, because, he is a phenomenal recruiter as well. Just the buzz. Greg, I went down there on Saturday because we got an interview with DeColdis coming up, but, seeing some of those recruits that are here on their official visits, there's just a buzz. It's just, you can feel it. The excitement. And so, I know Bill Busch is a big part of that recruiting, but the detail-oriented part of him, even just in the interview, that kind of came through of all of that. And that's what it takes to be a good special teams coordinator. And so, I think all those things, I think he's excited to kind of get in there and tackle that. And he's got game plans, and he knows, he's had success being a special teams coordinator. So it was a need, and I think he fills a huge void and will be a great fill for that void.
And he has handpicked some portal transfers in the kicking game, and we can now talk about a handful of them that have now officially been enrolled into school and are on campus. Spring semester began today. Brian Buschini is the punter from Montana. He will be here for spring football. You also got a long snapper, Brady Weiss from Georgetown, who is also on campus this year, and they got a walk-on punter, Jacob Hull from Nebraska Wesleyan, that are here. So he got a chance in December to kind of go look at film on prospective kickers and punters, and was able to put his imprint on that. So I think that's really big. Now, since we last talked, Scott Frost filled it out. He finished it off with the announcement of Brian Applewhite as his running backs coach. Brian was at Texas Christian, TCU University this past year on Gary Patterson's staff. Gary was let go by TCU at the end of the year, so he's the new running backs coach. We are told we're going to be able to get Brian on the program tomorrow night. Fingers crossed we'll be able to hear from him. So you and I have talked about getting the staff filled for better part of 2 months, and late last week it finally got finished off. And I think tip of the cap to Scott Frost. He took his time and went through and found, I think, what he feels are the right people to lead this program moving forward.
Yeah, and just the filled certain needs that you need, whether it's recruiting or development or whatever that might be. They got to be able to work together as well. And Nuri actually was at where was Nuri? Colorado. Where was Nuri?
Colorado State.
Colorado State with Applewhite before, and he tweeted about how excited he is to get to work with him again, and really said a lot of good things about him. So, you already got one guy that's already bought in there in Nuri, but Nuri, he probably buys into everybody. He's such a nice guy. But, I think overall just the pieces that were put in place, and I know people got impatient, but I think it was exactly what Scott needed and wanted and felt was going to be right for this program moving forward.
So looking forward to hoping to catch up with Coach Applewhite tomorrow night here in the program. Mention that we can talk about some of these transfer portal athletes, and the biggest one, and the one everybody's waiting to hear from and hear our take on that, is Casey Thompson, who has lineage through the Oklahoma program. He went to Texas, had some really nice numbers for the Longhorns, put his name in the portal, and Nebraska now has him coming to Lincoln. He's moved into town. He's going to class. He'll be here for spring football. Pretty exciting to get Casey Thompson, I think, as a Husker.
I was really, really excited about this one. Of course, I remember Casey back when he was in high school. I was at Oklahoma when his brother Kendall was the quarterback, or in that quarterback rotation at Oklahoma, and kind of got to know Kendall and his family a little bit. Great family. Casey just lit it up in high school, set all kinds of high school records in Oklahoma, and he was all the rave. Everybody was just in awe of what he did when he was in high school, and kind of was a little bit crazy that he decided to go to Texas with all the ties to Oklahoma. Grew up an OU fan, but had a tough kind of situation where Tom Herman that staff left in the middle of while he was there. I think that speaks a lot about Casey, that he stuck it out and wanted to, compete for the job. And, I think he's going to be a great addition because he's a older guy. He's been around. He's been through some adversity and worked through some things. But, man, he has got a talented arm, but is also very athletic and can move as well. And I think he's got a really good head on his shoulders. Charles Thompson makes no bones, and I mean, he does not hide about the fact that he was arrested when he was in college, and he, of course, had lots of battles with Nebraska, was in the game of the century round 2, but, he talks about how he raised his kids and wasn't shy about letting them know, and the way that they were raised, you can tell they just know how to handle their business, and they just are great people to be around. So I'm excited. I think it's huge for Nebraska, and I think Nebraska fans are going to love him.
Now, Huskers have taken a second quarterback in the portal. We can't talk about that young man yet. They're still waiting on transcripts to be sent. So when that becomes official, we'll talk more about that young man. But I kind of felt all along, Jessica, that Nebraska was going to take 2 because I think they felt like their numbers were pretty low in that room. And now you go, well, now you have 5. Well, that's not exorbitant. I mean, and it may not stay at 5. Spring ball will come and go. Somebody may decide this isn't where they want to be and move on. But I don't think 5's outrageous. A lot of coaches say they want 1 per class. That would give you 5 because you usually have a redshirt class in there. So, and let the competition begin.
Competition is so important. And even regardless of if Casey Thompson's the guy, which, I don't think they're going to hand it to him just right away, but, it helps push the younger guys for when it is their turn, going in and competing and even just battling for who's going to be the backup. I mean, it's good experience, but then also, you never know when there's an injury or if something were to come up. Look at that. It happened last year, so having somebody that you are confident in, that you can call on in a backup type situation is absolutely huge.
Don't sleep on Logan. Logan's not just going to walk over. Logan's going to come in here and fight. And so I know he's up for the challenge. He tweeted something out today, kind of going, "I'm ready to accept the challenge." And Logan's got a lot of backers in that locker room. There's a lot of guys that like what Logan has done and did.
Yeah, no, I mean, we talked about it. I was really, blown away by how well you could tell he was just really adored in that locker room after the loss to Iowa, and all the guys that were kind of talking to him. I interviewed him, and just in the interview, just guys kind of coming up to him and patting him on the back. You can tell he is really well liked. He's going to compete. He's I think he's probably excited for the opportunity. I mean, you hear from these quarterbacks and even just the wide receivers with Mickey Joseph, how excited they are to come in and be developed by these coaches. I think, definitely Logan's going to be a guy that's also excited to come in and see how he can develop under Coach Whipple.
Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Well, Trev Alberts in his last athletic director show talked about that they were going to be sending out in January a survey to season ticket holders, to boosters, to friends of the program, to kind of get a gauge of what people think a game day experience in Lincoln is like, what they can improve on. If they do upgrades to the stadium, what would those upgrades look like, and what would people maybe be willing to pay for if they go to more low seating or club seating or those type of things. The survey went out last week. They've had tremendous response to it, Jessica. Over 12,000 people have already taken the time to fill out the survey. When I went through it over the weekend, it was interesting because they were asking simple things about, are there enough bathrooms? Are there enough concession stands? Do we have the right things at the concession stands? They touched on alcohol. What would your thoughts be about if alcohol is made available at the stadiums? And they talked about other different things in there. I think this is a wonderful way to get a pulse of what people think. And I think they'll get I'm not surprised that they're getting a good response back on it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome that they got as many numbers as they did. He announced that when he was here also in his last athletics director show, and just it's important to him to understand what fans want and are looking for when they come to get their game day experiences. And, there's different priorities. So what can you attack now? How do you attack certain things? And what is most important to fans? Because I think there's multiple things that maybe people would like to see changed or tweaked here or there, but how do you get a game plan moving forward? Because it's not just a matter of, okay, everything is going to be fixed right away. Like, you got to kind of get a feel for how you move forward. And it's really important for him to understand what fans are looking for and what's most important to him. And so, that response is incredible. I also was kind of there are so many different things that they asked about that what kind of is important to you, so that it kind of tailors to what certain fans are looking for when they do come inside the stadium.
Folks, I'd love to get your thoughts. I know a lot of you out there probably have received the survey. Maybe you've taken the time already to fill it out. Would love your take on what you put in there, what you thought. Maybe they missed something. Maybe you were surprised something was in there. Love to get your take. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. And also, we're up on our YouTube channel. If you have some thoughts about that, you certainly can share those with us there as well. So interesting week for Husker Athletics with that survey going out, with now some official announcements about the transfer portal. The coaching staff is set in stone. The spring game we know is April the 9th. Spring football is going to start late February. It's all kind of coming at us fast and furious, so we'd love to talk about some of that. We haven't had many shows because we've had a lot of basketball games. Amy Williams' weekly show coming up in hour number 2. I might break my New Year's resolution before I get out of January, because I said I was going to be really kind to officials. But boy, that was hard to watch that Sunday with the discrepancy in the fouls in the Iowa game.
I texted, again, both my dad and brothers are officials. My brother is a college, a Division I women's basketball official, and my dad is an official as well. And I said, this is crazy. And they agreed. Like, that's just, not saying that they were going after us, but it is just human nature for an official to see that kind of discrepancy in the fouls, how you don't call, here or there. And just the free throw line, getting to the free throw line, that's a huge difference in that game. I mean, lost by 10, and how many times did Iowa end up getting to the free throw line? It was over 25, right?
Yeah. At one point, it was 18-1 foul discrepancy. 18-1. That's really almost impossible to do. But, well, I'm sure Amy will attack that. Well, she probably won't say much about it tonight. Probably can't.
Yeah.
We can.
Again, I would love to, going back to what we've had many discussions about, maybe kind of see what the reaction is to that. Do you have a response? Is maybe the overall commissioner of whoever's in charge of all that referee group, how you go about that? Because, I mean, it is that is a game changer. When you got a team that gets to the line and is shooting that many free throws compared to a team that is not. And it's not like, Alexis Markowski was, I know she hit a bunch of threes, but it's like she was battling inside. You tell me she didn't get fouled more than that?
Would you say that there was not a defensive foul on Iowa till mid-third quarter?
Yeah, they had I think it was a offensive foul in the first half, but that was their only foul in the first half.
Very, very suspicious. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program tonight. On our text line, is Jordan Davis as big as he looks in person? Yes. Jordan was the Allen Trophy winner from Georgia. He is a big man. In fact, it was his birthday Wednesday, and so everybody, folks, you missed it. I led the group in a chorus of happy birthday. So I led the singing that night, so it was really a very special night.
That's good for you.
Yeah. Hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy it online at woodhouse.com. All right, 402-413-2400. Thoughts about the survey, thoughts about Huskers football staff, the transfer portal, that, and we'll talk to DeColdis Crawford coming up next.
You could win a 2022 Porsche Macan from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2022 Porsche Macan if they make a putt on the court at halftime at one of 4 home men's basketball games this season. Each contestant will receive a pair of tickets, hospitality, and a visit with the broadcast team before one of the home games with Ohio State, Rutgers, Northwestern, or Iowa. For more information and the official rules, go to huskers.com/putt.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Huskers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding Nebraska athletics, including game times, results, ticket promotions, prize giveaways, and more. Log on to also follow several sport-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Join today and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world. Visit huskers.com/social media to see all of our accounts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections. When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharp, Jessica Cootie with you here on a Tuesday night, 402-413-2400. The number if you want to be a part of the program. Let's go to Hastings. And Jake, you're going to lead us off tonight. Jake, good evening.
Good evening, Greg. Good evening, Jessica.
Hey, Jake.
The survey, we're season ticket holders. We have tickets in the south end zone and South Stadium. Why, I guess if I could, my only thing is a discrepancy in seats we've got where we sell our south. I mean, the south end zone seats are the same price as East, West, and North Stadium. And as far as watching games, South Stadium is not the same. I mean, if you look at the price of tickets that they're sold on secondary, the other three stadiums are a lot higher because we're crammed in there in the South Stadium. I guess if I could say one thing on the survey directly is I wish they'd either.
Jake, your phone's bugging out on us. Jake, I will tell you, I'm sorry, Jake, we lost your signal there. And Jessica asked me this before we went on the air, what would you think? And I go, South. South Stadium's where the biggest issues are. And I know Trev knows that. It's the oldest part of the stadium that hasn't had any renovations to it. If you sit clear up high, you got to walk clear down to the ground level to go to the bathroom or go to the concession stand. So I know they have to do major work on that south end. And I think that's why all the options were given. If we did this, would you stay there or what would you do?
Yeah, I'd also like to see another big video board. You know, I think that'd be good to have in both end zones as well. But I do think that's something that even Trev said on the show, multiple times that is an area that absolutely has to be addressed moving forward.
Let's go to Litchfield and James. Good evening, James. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Hey, I know that this ain't part of the survey, but I think, after November, that every time a Husker scores, they should give free Tom and Jerry's to keep everybody warm in the games in November. But obviously, that's a joke. But I just want to give a big shout out to Scott Price. We're with you, man. That's all I was calling for. So.
All right. Thanks, James. I guess.
What free what?
Tom and Jerry's. Does he mean
ice cream?
Does he mean Ben and Jerry's? Because Ben and Jerry's is an ice cream place.
I'm all for that. Ben and Jerry's. I love Ben and Jerry's.
Sue, on our text line, were all season ticket holders supposed to get the survey? I think so. I think if you're in the system with your email, you should have got it. So, Sue, maybe go look at your spam or something like that. Maybe it's in there. But
I got season tickets here, and then my parents, who I gave them to go to the games and sit in the seats, they got the email. My mom got the email. So I don't know if you signed up through the Huskers app, you should get. I think you should get those through that email, whatever that email is that you use to sign up there.
Yeah. So, Sue, if you haven't got it, I make a phone call to the ticket office. They can make sure they get it to you. Maybe they have the wrong email. Maybe it bounced somewhere else. So, yeah, but if you are a season ticket holder, you should have gotten the survey to fill out. All right. DeColdis Crawford, one of the best names in college football.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with that.
I hope he plays a lot so that I get to use a lot of stuff with him. He was actually on his visit this past weekend, even though he signed in December. That's kind of backward from what kids do, but you had a chance to meet the young man over the weekend.
I've never been to Nebraska. Brought the snow with him, by the way. But yeah, very humble guy. Enjoyed getting to kind of chat with him. And yeah, that was right off the bat. Why'd you come here when you'd never seen it? So here's DeColdest. Well, look who is in Lincoln and who is in studio with us. DeColdis Crawford, one of the new Huskers that will be coming in. Your first visit to Lincoln, how you liking it?
It's a different environment, snowy compared to Louisiana. It's kind of hot in Louisiana, and when I get down here, it's snow, so you just got to adjust to the temperature.
Yeah, you brought the snow with you. What'd you think of that snow?
Yeah, it's cool. I really like the snow since I like playing in the snow. So I come to Nebraska and I just, I want to play in the snow.
That's awesome. So again, you picked Nebraska and you hadn't even been here. Why take us through that decision?
Yeah, within football, it's relationships. I don't want to go to a school where I didn't have a relationship with any coaches. I want to go to a school where me and the coach have known each other for over 3 or 4 years, and we can make big things happen.
And so that's Mickey Joseph, right? I mean, why when you first kind of met him, what was it about him that you clicked with him?
Well, he's a hands-on coach. He's gonna keep it real with you, no matter what circumstance it is. He's gonna tell you the truth and stuff like that, and he's gonna throw you out there at an early age and let you make plays.
How exciting is it to see some of the guys that he's worked with doing what they're doing on Sundays?
Yeah, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, those was one of the 2 best receivers in the NFL right now. So just knowing that he trained those guys 3 to 4 years. I feel like he can come and train me and other people in the receiving corps and make us better, just like them.
When you decided to commit to Nebraska and you got all the reaction from Husker fans, what was that like?
Well, you know, it's a lot of love. I think when I first committed to Nebraska, I had around 7,000 followers on Twitter, and after that, I got around like 18,000 on Twitter now. So it's a lot of fans that love it.
They love their football and they're excited you're coming. How much does that excite you? I mean, you just committed. How much does that excite you to kind of play football in front of them on Saturdays?
Well, I mean, a 90,000 crowd, that's a lot of people. So they'll be ready. They'll be ready for me to put on the show, and I'm just put on the show for everyone.
So I think a lot of people probably want to know about your name, DeColdest. Can you tell us the story behind it? Your mom, right? It was your mom came up with it.
Yeah, my mom came up with it. Actually, I come from a big family of football players and stuff, and I'm the youngest child. So my mama, she named me DeColdest out of all my older brothers and siblings and stuff like that.
I know you've gone viral. A lot of people have asked you about it. You embrace that? You embrace being DeColdest?
Yeah. At first, when I first went viral, I really didn't like it. But now you have to accept the fact, you know, it's your job to be professional and do things the right way. So, yeah, I love it now.
So you mentioned your family, and I saw in a lot of interviews you've talked about your brothers getting you to the point where you're at. What was that like, kind of growing up competing with them? Why did they get you to this point?
Yeah, kind of growing up, I was always the youngest cat around the group playing football with teenagers, people way older than me. So it's like I translated that into my competition and just dominate because I always played with older competition throughout the years.
And then as a wide receiver, I mean, you know, I think you're recruiting and people can watch your highlight films, but what sets you apart? If you, in your opinion, what kind of sets you apart as a receiver?
Well, I think my ability to make tight space catches, you know. I can separate and catch the ball. I can make contested catches. I can just run routes. I can do everything a wide out and a slot receiver does.
And then just what do you need to do to kind of keep working so that, you know, you can get here when you get here in the summer and kind of get right to it?
Yeah, it's all about really the playbook. You know, I learned the playbook. I feel like I can come in and play. If you don't learn the playbook, you're going to get left behind. And I feel as if I need to take control and look over defenses and learn the right spots to sit in and just learn more about defense.
Do you enjoy that, kind of diving into the playbook aspect of it? Some people don't.
Yeah, because, you know, the concepts that I'll be running, they are good plays, and they'll get me open so I can make a lot of good plays on the field.
I did want to go back to when you were younger, too, not only your brothers, but you were a baseball player, and they had to talk you into playing football, right?
Oh, actually, I was a basketball player.
Basketball player.
Yeah, coming into high school, I wasn't going to play basketball at all. But, I mean, my cousin set me down, my brother set me down, and they talked to me. And I came to my first football practice, and I scored 4 touchdowns on seniors and stuff like that. And after that, I just really been with football because after my freshman year in the summer, I got two Division I scholarships from Southern and Southern Miss, and that's when I just said, "Oh, basketball is out the window. I'm gonna just stick to football."
That's awesome. Since you kind of have signed, and you hadn't even been here yet, but you've been super supportive of, you know, you've been tweeting out on social media all things Husker football, but you've even put out a tweet with the women's basketball team. Why have you been so all in when you just kind of committed and you hadn't even been here yet?
Yeah, you know, it's family now, and, you know, once I decommitted, I already knew I was going. I just didn't want it to be known to the public, but I actually knew I was going, and, you know, it's a lot of support around here, so I support every group around here and stuff like that, and jump in organizations and do things, do community service or whatever I got to do.
That's awesome. People love to hear that. Casey Thompson, I know you were excited about when he kind of committed to come here. What have you seen out of him, and how excited are you to play with him and for him to be your quarterback?
Yeah, knowing he's coming, you got an elite quarterback. He came from Texas, you know, he made good plays there. He's an elite guy, and I feel like he can make some big things happen down here in Nebraska.
Last thing I got for you, just again, Husker fans that'll be tuning in, listening to this, I know they're super excited to have you here. What would be your message to them as you get ready to play as a Husker?
I'm just ready to get to work. I like the fan base. It's a good fan base. They're going to keep me motivated and just bring the energy every game, and I'm going to put the work in and score touchdowns and make everyone happy.
Love it. Well, Dakotas, appreciate your time and welcome to Lincoln, and can't wait to get you here officially on campus here in a few months.
All right, thank you. Go Huskers.
Enjoyed getting to talk with him, and yeah, I hope he scores a lot of touchdowns so you can have fun with that name. But you heard him talk about Mickey Joseph. I mean, just how important that is. And going back to that ongoing conversation that we've had with Jeremiah, you and I have talked about a lot here, just that's the example right there. I mean, he came here sight unseen because of their relationship he had with Mickey Joseph and how important that relationship is to him and wanting to play for somebody that he has that relationship with. So that right there is a prime example of that right there.
Oh, what an engaging guy to listen to. I really enjoyed listening to him talk there. And man, it's just so backwards to sign with a school that you haven't even been on campus for. So it says a ton about Mickey, that he feels a bond with him and a trust with Coach Joseph, that he wanted to be a Cornhusker. And I cringed a little bit for those guys because the weather was not very nice here Friday night and Saturday morning, but he seemed to battle his way through it.
You heard him say it. He likes it. And he told me that even before we got on the interview, that he was liking the snow, because he said the last time he saw it was 4 years ago in Louisiana. So, he liked it. And you could just tell, because it was his first time here, that, he was enjoying his visit and enjoying his time here. I enjoyed talking with him. Again, I think you could see on his social media how excited he is, even though you kind of question it because he hadn't even been committed that long, but he is all in and he's excited to play for Nebraska and to be here. And it's absolutely for real that he is excited to get here, and he's a team guy. I think we're going to find that out about him, that he's a guy that's really well liked in the locker room as well.
He will not be here until summer. He's going to go ahead and finish out his high school senior season there, but made his visit up here, so he will not be a part of spring football for the Huskers. Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Phone lines are open if you still want to talk about the survey Nebraska put out about some of the transfer portals that are now been announced for Husker football. All that fair game tonight at 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit Deto Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DetoSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You live in a smart home powered by Cox Internet, so you're not thinking about the pizza delivery. You're thinking how nice it is to get everyone together for a fun night. You're not thinking about the pizza. Maybe just a little.
Cox Home Life. Show me the front porch camera.
Pizza!
View your Cox Home Life cameras right from your TV using your Contour voice remote. Visit cox.com/thisishome to learn more.
Advertised features require subscription to Cox Internet and Contour TV. A high-speed internet connection is required. Home Life Security Services subject to Home Life Security Service Agreement. Cox Home Life Services provided by Cox licensed entities. See cox.com/licenses.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
When it comes to style and safety, the 2021 Mazda CX-5 has it all. From effortless performance and control to sophisticated technology features like iActiveSense, a suite of safety features that come standard. Plus, when you shop with Woodhouse Mazda, our friendly sales staff will help you shop, finance, and buy your way, whether it's in-store or online. View our inventory at one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or at woodhousemazda.com.
What's better than Huskers basketball? A Husker Basketball VIP package. Enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to a game, hospitality access with food, a signed basketball, and the chance to hang courtside during warm-up, all courtesy of Nomi Health, your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. So, get tested and help stop the COVID spread and enter to score a Husker Basketball VIP package. Slam dunk, indeed. To enter, visit huskers.com/Nomi, huskers.com/NOMI.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer-term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof. Talk about long-term.
Hello, it's Jim Persinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 308-284-3260 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, that's where we're broadcasting from tonight. It's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg and Jessica with you here on a Tuesday night. The head basketball coach, Amy Williams, in studio next hour. So at the top of the hour, get your comments, questions ready for her. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to leave us a text or fire off a phone call. Let's head to the phones. We'll go to St. Louis. And Tyler. Hello, Tyler. You're up on Sports Nightly.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
So transfer portal, always kind of dynamic in nature, and man, has that made college football interesting. So, where do you guys see the remaining gaps on the roster? I know social media seems to suggest, the O-line kind of protecting some of our new assets. But what are your thoughts?
I think defensive line, I think they're still looking there for some of those. They've already added 2 offensive linemen in the portal, Tyler. So I would think defensive line, particularly with Damian Daniels opting not to come back and give it a go in the NFL, I would look for defensive line. That take care of you?
Great, yeah. Got a lot of the pieces in on special teams, really working on the defensive backs. But, yeah, no, I think that's good.
Todd, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call.
Yeah, I was also going to say, in the secondary, I know there were a lot of young guys that got a lot of experience last year, but I think they even, attacked that even more with some of the guys that they brought in, both out of high school, but also in the portal, because that's where you're losing a lot of those guys that have a lot of experience. So I think getting some players from the portal that have that college experience that you can, add to the room is going to be huge for that.
They added a portal DB from Arizona State and Tommy Hill, who's on campus, will be a part of spring practice. They got a commitment over the weekend from a junior college defensive back. They added a junior college defensive back in December in Deshaun Singleton. So they've added some more veteran guys for that secondary. But you're right. There's some playing time to be had back there.
Yeah, and I think when you lose guys like Cam Taylor-Britt and just the guys that they had that
The
played.
two safeties,
Yeah, the two
Markelle and
safeties that had
Deontay.
just played so much football and had played together for so long. Just getting some more experience, I think will be huge. And again, just that competition we were talking about is just, having guys go out there and battle for that spot. That's what, makes you better week in and week out.
Let's head up to Omaha. And Cole, good evening, Cole. You're on Sports Nightly.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something about the survey. I think something that would help out at the games and stuff would be a little bit more fan involvement. I've been going to the games since I could remember, since I was 5'6", and I always remember, the cheerleaders getting the fans involved. I feel like we've seen a lot less of that lately. Not that it's completely gone, but the fan involvements and stuff like that would be awesome to see. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, you bet. And I know that's part of it. I think cell phones have hurt fan involvement because everybody's on their phone during the games, and even during timeouts, they're checking scores or texting their buddies or posting something on Instagram or TikTok or something like that. So I think that you're battling that part of it right now.
I got to say, just the last game when we were, doing the red carpet experience, kind of, thanking fans for their support of that. And we had the Little League team from Omaha in, and they did the Go Big Red. That was over. That was so cool. And
Yep.
I know the kids thought it was cool. We got a lot of involvement with that. That was awesome. But yeah, you can just tell it when everybody's kind of the back and forth, and that's important. And the team feeds off of that. They feel that.
They do, and I think the third quarter thing with Thunderstruck this year was really cool because I think the fans really felt like they were a part of everything with that. So, Cole, you're right. I think the Athletics is always trying to figure out ways to do more of that. So, also, one thing that I'll say this, I put this in my survey, is I would like to see maybe the team at the end of the games go do something with the student section. Maybe it's a chant, maybe it's a song, maybe it's something you go before they exit the field, go down and I know we all get tired of the Eyes of Texas that the Longhorns do, but that's kind of cool that they do with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that, kind of make their way down and they all kind of come together and whatever the fight song might be but, there's so many times and that student section gets rowdy and they are there so early. A lot of times they are there, through the night. I've talked to a couple of guys that were there, crazy early to get up there and get up front. And, they set the tone. So, yeah, I think it's important to show the appreciation and gratitude with those students for sure.
Cole, appreciate the call, 402-413-2400. So, Tom, if you want to be a part of this one, your thoughts about the survey, your thoughts about the transfer portal, the additions to Nebraska's team, all that fair game. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
Looking for a great Christmas gift idea? Look no further than expanding your loved one's Husker closet with an item from the new 255 collection, inspired by legendary coach Tom Osborne. With high quality at the forefront, 255 can be worn anywhere from sporting events and business meetings to backyard get-togethers. No matter the occasion, 255 is about feeling confident, looking good, and celebrating the remarkable coaching career of Tom Osborne. Shop now at Huskers.com or participating retailers. For more information, visit Huskers.com/255.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Tailgating pros agree that Lucille's Famous Fried Chicken and More at Sapp Brothers scores big with Husker fans. Be the MVP of your tailgate party this year and let Lucille's do the cooking. Stop by Sapp Brothers Travel Center or visit www.sappbros.net to find out how you can elevate your tailgate party with Lucille's Famous Fried Chicken, celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official sponsor of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
At Great Western Bank, they are committed to your community. With all the local decisions and personal attention of a hometown community bank, they also have the convenience of a bigger bank. It's the best of both, so you can bank with your neighbors and your friends. Great Western Bank wishes all area teams a safe and successful season. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Craig Sharp, Jessica Cootie with you for a few more minutes. 402-413-2400. Our women's basketball show coming up at the top of the hour. The head coach, Amy Williams, along with Matt Cody, will take you through the second hour of Sports Nightly. On our text line, Dave in Hawaii says, great job to Scott Frost on the recruiting class. I am chugging the Kool-Aid and using it to wash off the sand. Go Big Red.
Dave always has to throw that in there somehow, right? That he's on the beach, but it wasn't too bad of weather today. We could have
beautiful today,
springish.
Just wait 12 hours; it'll be a lot different.
But yeah, no, I mean, again, kind of going back to what I said earlier when I was down there and the recruits were going through their photo shoots. There's just a different buzz and excitement, and I'm with you. I think they hit a lot of the needs, as the one caller called in about, a lot of the needs that were needed. But then they got some experience, they got older, which, this was a young football team, so you got some guys that can come in and hopefully, get right into being those leaders for the team, as well as we saw Samori Toure do a year ago.
And they're not done. They're going to add people. And you mentioned Samori. He didn't become a Husker until like May. So he had a huge impact on this football team this past year. So there's still time to do some of that. The Reverend is in the house. He informs us that Tom and Jerry's is actually a spiced eggnog drink. Oh. I did not know that.
I didn't either. But I was all for the Ben & Jerry's. The Ben & Jerry's.
Well, the Ben & Jerry's too, yeah.
So if he meant Ben & Jerry's, I'm all for that. I've never had a Tom & Jerry's.
There were some games this past fall that I could have used a Tom & Jerry's at the end of the ball game, so so I might keep that in my back pocket for next year. All right, tomorrow night we're hoping to get Coach Applewhite. He's on the road recruiting this week. He's the running backs coach that Coach Frost hired late last week. We're also going to hear from Nicklin Hames. You had a chance to catch up with her. Her big announcement last week, Jessica. She's going to come back and then stay on as a graduate assistant coach, correct?
Yes, so, it was awesome to talk with her and kind of go into she doesn't know what that role is going to look like yet. We'll see moving forward, but she just wanted to be a part of this team and learn from a different perspective. And that podcast is out, but yeah, you're going to hear from her coming up tomorrow, and she's always great to talk to.
We'll look forward to that. We'll also hear from men's tennis coach Sean Mimey. They have a big matchup with number 2 Baylor at the Dillon Tennis Center coming up on Thursday night. So if you want to go watch some college tennis, that'd be a great chance to go out, root on the Huskers. We'll hear from Coach Mimey tomorrow night here on the program. So looking forward to all that. Appreciate that. Andy in our chat room says, is it eggnog season still?
I'm not an eggnog fan. I don't like eggnog.
I like it. I'm the only one in my house that does.
I don't know.
They won't let me
like
buy it.
Nobody.
You an eggnog guy?
Yeah, my son Ben, big time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm not an eggnog. My family's not an eggnog
It's an acquired
people.
taste.
I don't know. I'm
Eggnog.
out. I'm out on that.
You're out on eggnog.
Give me the Ben & Jerry's.
All right. Well, I'm just glad we got the full story out before we wrapped up this little show.
I feel bad. We didn't get the inside joke when he called. We were like, Tom & Jerry's. What is that?
It's a cartoon, isn't
Cody
it?
had to walk in and inform us that we did not
cartoon
get the joke. Yeah, I love Tom & Jerry.
Yeah.
As a cartoon.
A lot of our audience knows exactly what we're talking about, that cartoon. All right, that puts a wrap on this hour. Don't go away. Our Husker Women's Basketball show coming up next hour. Coach Williams, Matt Coatney, talk about this Husker team getting ready for another home game on Thursday night. Enjoy that show. We'll be back with you tomorrow night for a full 2 hours.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Discover the all-new 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Its powerful engines, bold presence, and innovative features give you superior capability. Or take your next adventure to new heights in the 2022 GMC Canyon. It's engineered and equipped to handle whatever action lies ahead. Shop our indoor showroom or purchase online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots, and we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
This is the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show with head coach Amy Williams. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Hot top, Hybe. Couple of dribbles out to Ani Stewart, deep three, right wing. You betcha! Ani Stewart off the assist from Sam Hybe. Right side quarter court, Jazz Shelley, 25-foot three. You betcha! Jazz Shelley with a big-time shot. Way back top, 28-footer for Scoggin. You betcha! Off the assist from Izzy Bourne. Out to Widener. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, leans in at the foul line and sticks it. Allison Widener. Moriarty. Deep on the left wing, works out top 5 to shoot. Markowski has hit 4 threes. Are you kidding me? You betcha! Alexis Markowski has 16 first quarter points. Whitney Brown, right side quarter court, steps back, deep three for Whit Brown. You betcha! What a big shot! And now she's going to drive underneath, reverse layup. Good for Kendall Moriarty. Are you kidding me?
Now that is a big-time one-handed reverse layup by Moriarty.
Out top, Markowski for 3. You betcha! Markowski has hit 6 threes.
Unbelievable.
And she's got 27 points.
Here is your host, Matt Coatney, on the Huskers Radio Network.
I thought, Amy Williams, I was awake. I thought I've been having this dream that you were without 3 starters at Iowa the other day, and your big Big Ten-esque post freshman hit 6 3-pointers. But then I'm just listening to these highlights they played in the montage coming in, and I'm like, either I'm still having this dream.
It's quite a bit of you betcha there, Matt.
I mean, let me ask you this, Amy. Did you sit down in the scouting report and go, well, we lost Iowa in Lincoln. How can we beat them over in Iowa City? Let's get the 6'3" center out there to take 7 threes, and hopefully she makes 6 of them. Did you draw that up?
Nope.
It wasn't you, huh?
I'm not taking any credit for that. Nope. No. Obviously, we have confidence in Lex. We have confidence, and we've encouraged her to continue to work on that element of her game. So
yeah.
That's something that but for her, that was just, she started feeling it. And I said this in my post game. I really feel like that nothing she's doing here lately is surprising me. She's just a competitor, and once she starts feeling good about something, then you just keep going back to it.
I thought about making a T-shirt for her that says Splash Sister, but we'll see. This is the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Hour. How are you doing, everybody? Matt Coatney, that's the coach. Amy Williams will take your calls and your texts for the full hour at 402-413-2400. Nebraska with a record of 13-4. They return home to Pinnacle Bank Arena Thursday to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And then a quick trip over to Champaign, Illinois, Sunday at 2 p.m., and then back home for 3 more. You know, it seems like we've been on the road a lot, and you need to kind of make those up with home games, but I can't really recall any time in my history in the Big Ten where you get 4 out of 5 games at home and 3 in a row. So that'll work, won't it?
We are very much welcoming some home games, getting back to Pinnacle Bank Arena and playing in front of our fan base again.
So we have a lot of questions, obviously, from the fans, and I'm going to tell you right now, we've already got a couple of people on the line. Sue says, Matt, do not tell us how good the conference officials are anymore. They are partisan and rob students of their opportunities. Art in Los Angeles says, hi, Matt, please tell Amy Williams, wait a minute, the text went away, guys. I can't read it. It was up on the screen, and then it got blocked out by someone else. But the point of it is that people want to talk about the foul disparity. I'm not going to put Coach Williams in that position because she can't do it. So here's what I'm going to do for you guys. Jeff Greash, our great media relations director, did look up personal foul disparity. The previous record for opponent foul disparity was Iowa State. At Iowa State in 1998 was plus 17. So this also was in the state of Iowa, plus 21 the other day. It is, if I'm not going to ask you about that because, you know, there are people out there who report to the conference office, and it's not worth you getting in trouble to talk about. But I can talk about it. is a number that has gotten everybody's attention. And what I will say is the combined number of Final Fours, the three officials who worked the games the other day, was over 10. And all three of them have done Final Fours. So that's, I think, as much as we're going to get into the officials. But what I want to talk about with the Iowa game is you were down Sam Hybe, who we kind of knew after the Indiana game she went down with shoulder injury that you may not have her. But then here comes Jaz Shelley, who's not available to you with the health and safety protocols. And then Bella Cravens, while available, you didn't play her more than a minute because she's been out. So, I mean, that's three starters down against a team that went to the Sweet 16 and has the nation's leading scorer over there. How gritty was your team, you know, not only staying in that game but having a big lead and almost getting it done?
I am really proud of how hard they fought. And what I thought was the way we came out of the gates, you know, we wanted to take the fight to them, and I thought our kids really did that. And they played with great confidence, even though we were shorthanded. It almost looked like that they really wanted to play for Sam and Jaz and Coach Love, who was not with us, and just be able to really kind of not let them down by making sure that they gave extra effort in their absence. And I thought that's one of the things that's special about this team and this group, and I am very proud of that effort. I thought that we had some inexperienced show at times, and we did foul too much ourselves, but the fight, I will take it every time. The grit, I will take it every time. The competitive spirit and the expectation to go and win. And I am fired up with the way that our team kind of handled themselves and did it with class. And I'm just really, I've said this before, Matt, I love coaching this team.
402-413-2400 is the number. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Stay tuned. Coming up shortly, we're going to have a trivia question, and if you get the question right on our text line at 402-413-2400, I've got 4 tickets to the Rutgers game on Thursday at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But first, we got a couple of phone callers. Let's head up to Omaha. Jamie's been waiting patiently since the show started. Jamie, you're on with Coach Williams.
Hi, Coach. Hi, Matt. Hey, so I'm going to take it a different approach because, yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe the foul disparity, but I want Coach to be able to coach on Thursday because I'm going to the game and I like watching her coach. So I'm going to make sure I steer clear of that. I just wanted to say Allison and Whitney played phenomenal the other night. I mean, Whitney hadn't been in games in a couple weeks, I think, and she just looked so poised out there, and I just thought she played great. And I guess the other thing I'd say is my girls have gone with me to a couple of games, and I asked them, well, did you have fun? She's like, and it was the Iowa game, and said, yeah, but we didn't have as much fun as the last game. It's like, well, why? Like, everybody was so mad. It's like, well, the reason why we're mad is because we really want these girls. We really care about these girls, and they play so hard and they work so hard. And Coach, you have just done a great job with this team, and hopefully Jaz and Sam are back soon. But I think just the depth you've developed and just the character you've developed with this team. I know the wins are going to come, but it's really more than that. It's just how they play and how they play for each other. It's just so much fun to watch. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie, so much for the call. And thank you for bringing your girls up to support us and be at the game. And that really means a lot to us. And I had a little more fun in the Michigan game, too. So tell them they weren't alone, you know. And but what a fabulous crowd we had even in that last game against Iowa. I think it should be another great game on Thursday. We appreciate you bringing them up. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Whit Brown. I thought she was awesome as well. and she played poised, and she played with confidence, and the very thing that we see out of her, in practice, just doesn't get easily rattled. And I thought she really handled herself well in that way, and just gave us huge minutes and made us competitive in that ball game.
Jamie, we appreciate the phone call. Whitney Brown had not played in really since the non-conference season ended. She came through the door ready to dance. No fear, 5 points, handled the point guard position well, and you needed her a lot last year, starting many games last year. But when you start saying, well, Sam's not available and Jazz isn't available and Widener's got a couple of fouls, you had to bring her in, and goodness, she looked like the moment was not too big.
That's right. I'm just so proud of her. And I think that, we've been saying that there's going to be a time for everybody to really rise to the occasion. And I thought she did that for our team on Sunday. And we're going to continue to lean on her to do that moving forward.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres. Solutions for every field. 402-413-2400 if you'd like to talk to Coach Williams, or text us. And let's go to Gage County. And Brad is in Beatrice. Brad, you're on with Coach Williams.
Good evening, guys. I really appreciate you taking my call. I got about 3 points here to make. Alexis Markowski again got Freshman of the Week, and I asked Matt earlier in the week how many that Kelsey Griffin, who had her jersey retired and was great, she only had one. So I thought that was a pretty dramatic statement.
She had two, Brad. I think if I wrote one, I meant two. I think I sent you two. Two Big 12 Freshman of the Week, yeah.
Okay, but she doubled it up already.
All right.
So you just have to think about that in terms of what she's doing. And I see improvement every game because she just the rebounding, the shots inside. She's not missing as many shots inside. She's got emotion, passion. The one thing that I see, though, is that she does get something go negative. We don't want to see 2 fouls. So, Coach, you can talk to her about that. But the rest of the game, she can stay the way she is. The second point is the character and teamwork of this team is just outstanding. We watched 3 losses in a row. All were 3 entertaining games. All were different in terms of the adversity and why. But whoever was out on the court played their hearts out, and they played for each other. And that's just outstanding basketball. So I have no doubt that this team, because of that tenacity, will make the NCAA tournament. The third thing is I got a call from a granddaughter yesterday, and she said, Papa Brad, basketball. So that means we need to be at Pinnacle Bank Arena again soon. Thanks for taking the call.
Brad, thank you so much for calling in and for being so supportive of our team. And I thought you had 3 really valid points, and just really excited for how Alexis Markowski has been progressing as a player, and she keeps finding ways to improve. And I am excited to see her growth so quickly in her freshman season. And I am glad that Papa Brad is bringing his granddaughter to the games, and that she's excited to be back in Pinnacle Bank Arena, because trust me, so are we.
Yes.
Yes.
I was very excited to get back to Pinnacle Bank Arena when marketing in Indiana shot a T-shirt out of a cannon down press row and missed, and it hit me. It missed Grease by a little bit, and I was like, they don't usually shoot T-shirts out of a cannon at me or throw them at me, but that's pretty good. 402-413-2400 is the number. Markowski, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week again this week. She was a National Freshman of the Week last week, according to United States Basketball Writers Association. 4th time she's been the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Brad was asking me earlier this week, how many times did Kelsey Griffin, who was a candidate for National Player of the Year her senior year, get Freshman of the Week her freshman year? She did it twice. Those were Big 12 days. I can't remember who all were freshmen in the league. But, 4 times is certainly very impressive. There's some very good freshmen in our league this year that she's going up against also.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, that it's so hard to kind of compare different eras and different leagues and different years, because, every year there's a different scenario of, how many good freshmen that are actually getting to contribute as freshmen, where, with all this COVID stuff, there's a lot of teams who just have more veterans back that they weren't planning on. So that might mean a little less opportunity for freshmen on certain rosters. But I do feel like that there are several really good freshmen in the Big Ten. With 14 teams right now, you can go right down the list and find pretty good candidates in all of those. And so for Lex to be doing what she's doing is pretty special.
We've got a lot of text here on our text line and also on our YouTube chat window from the first hour I want to get to. But first, before we throw it to the break, I know you want tickets to see the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and this Nebraska women's basketball team on Thursday night at 7 o'clock at Pinnacle Bank Arena. So, on our text line at 402-413-2400, the first person who has the correct answer to this question will get 4 tickets to the game. That you can they'll be left at the well call window on the south side of Pinnacle Bank Arena. So I need your name on the text, your full name, not just your nickname or something like that. So here it is. Trivia question, 402-413-2400. We'll have the correct answer after the break and who gets the tickets. Since it's for Rutgers, there have only been 2 Husker women's basketball letter winners in history from the New York or New Jersey area, meaning the state of New York or New Jersey. Only 2 letter winners in history on the Nebraska women's basketball team. Name either, and they both have connections to Coach Williams. 402-413-2400. There have only been 2 Husker women's basketball letter winners in history from New York or New Jersey. Name either. They both have connections to Coach Williams. The winner gets 4 tickets to Thursday night's game against Rutgers. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More with Coach Williams of the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show in a few moments.
Get your ice cold Bud Light seltzer here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery.
Hey, Bud Light!
I'm ready!
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Ford has something for everyone. Discover the all-new 2022 F-150, Ranger, or Maverick. From the affordable 2022 Ford Maverick to the capable 2022 Ford F-150, all built to help you make the most of your work week or weekend. Our knowledgeable sales team is eager to help you find a vehicle with the features you want. Plus, shop, finance, and buy your way online at WoodhouseFord.com or one of our 3 convenient Ford dealerships.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, call J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
If your business communication slows down, your business slows down. Kidwell can help. Kidwell streamlines your company's communications with phone systems that work the way you work, in the office or on the road. Kidwell systems provide the unified communications features your users demand, like voicemail to email, instant messaging, and calendar integration. And Kidwell will be there providing training, service, and support to make sure you get the most out of your investment. Don't let communications problems slow down your business. Visit KidwellInc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the Big Red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show, Hour 2 of Sports Nightly. I'm Matt Coatney. Amy Williams is with us, and we have a winner of 4 tickets to the Rutgers Nebraska Women's Basketball game Thursday night. Our winner is Linda Freeze, longtime Husker fan. The question was, there have only been 2 Husker Women's Basketball letter winners ever from New York or New Jersey. Name either who has connections to Coach Williams. She correctly identified Kate Kane, who played here and starred here. The other correct answer would have been Monet Williams, who was a teammate of yours back in 1998. Yeah. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I know. It's been a long time since I've had the opportunity to think about my time with Monet as a teammate, and I kind of had forgot she was from New Jersey.
Yeah, so Kate Kane and Monet Williams were either we would have accepted. So Linda, we'll have tickets for you at the will call window at Pinnacle Bank Arena, which is the main area you come in on the south side. We'll have those about an hour before the game. So thank you very much. 402-413-2400 is the number if you'd like to visit with Amy Williams. That's also our text line here tonight. We've got a lot of texts, so going to try to get to them, not necessarily in order, but the way I can see them here. Don't have a name here, but the question is, what's Bella Craven's status? So she had an ankle injury, missed 3 games, played just shy of 2 minutes in the game at Iowa, and played pretty well in the minutes she was in there. What's an update on Bella?
Yeah, I think Bella just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and I thought she looked way more confident and moving like herself a lot today in practice. And so I think, every day she's just gaining a little more strength and a little more confidence and getting stronger.
Let's see. Art in Los Angeles says, Matt, thank you for the way you explained it. This talked about the foul disparity at Iowa. I did not want to get Amy in trouble asking my question. It really seems the coaching staff is very well aware of things. This will fire up the team. Now I think the Huskers go undefeated the rest of the season. Now for sure, Final Four. Love you, Matt and Amy. Art is pushing that Final Four.
I'm telling
Amy.
you. I love Art's confidence in the Huskers, so I love it.
Yeah, we'll start calling him Final Four in Los Angeles. So Chuck D on the YouTube chat window in the first hour wanted to know about Jazz Shelley's health and Sam's shoulders. So you were missing pretty much most of your starting backcourt in the game against Iowa. Any update on Jazz? Any update on Sam?
Yeah, Sam right now is just kind of day to day, and so every day we're just kind of evaluating the process, and so is going to have to take it day by day, unfortunately, with that shoulder. And then Jazz is just right kind of in the midst of health protocols, and so that's also going to be just kind of determined, to be determined, but based on how the steps through the protocol goes.
402-413-2400. We'll take your text and we'll take your phone calls tonight here, visiting with Amy Williams. Also in our chat window, Chuck D. Chuck D said, Rutgers being more physical. Is Amy planning on using more of an outside game or dribble penetration to loosen up Rutgers? What are the strengths that the team needs to work on going forward? Rutgers is a very physical team.
They are incredibly physical and very fast, and they will throw several different defenses at you, and including a lot of full court pressure and some man-to-man where they switch every screen, and they're not afraid to put their five switched off onto your guards and their guards to be aggressive guarding your bigs. And so they are just a little different than anything that we've seen up to this point this year. And so because of that, we've got to really lock in on our preparation over the next 48 hours or so, and be ready to handle that physicality, the changing defenses, the pressure, and do it with poise and take care of the basketball.
Their long-time legendary head coach, C. Vivian Stringer, is taking the year off, leave of absence, some family health issues, specifically with her daughter. So Timothy Eatman is the acting head coach, and he's been at Rutgers for 7 years now. He was in the Big 12. He's been around forever, and you would think, well, if Vivian Stringer isn't there, they're not going to play that famous 55. And no. I flip on the game the other day. They're playing Wisconsin, and here comes the 55. And for fans, I'll say it on the air. They go to the 55, and people are like, well, isn't it just a press? But that's the hallmark of Vivian Stringer, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, it's what Rutgers is known for. It's what causes every one of their opponents to have to adjust and tweak and work on things to try to prepare for that. And it is something that is still a staple for their program, and that Timothy Eatman is doing a fabulous job of being able to coach that group in that area to just be a very stingy defense.
When you just take a look at their stats, if you hadn't watched a game they've played this year, man, if this doesn't sound like Rutgers. Number 1 in the Big Ten and 13th in the nation in steals. Number 1 in the Big Ten in scoring defense. They only give up 57 points per game. Number 3 in the Big Ten in rebound margin. Number 14 out of 14 teams in fewest fouls. So they're physical. They take it away from you. They rebound. Your guards have to protect the ball, and I'm not just saying just the guards. I mean, it's more of a team effort. But is that where it starts, with trying to defeat some of those numbers I just talked about?
Yeah,
was in the backcourt?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to have to really take care of the basketball and get great shots at the basket. And the other thing is, and we've talked about this a little bit, take the fight to them. We can't just sit back and let them be the more physical team, and we've got to have that as our goal to try to get down towards that 14th team in the league in fouling.
Yeah, your stats after the other day kind of got skewed. 402-413-2400. If you like to visit with Amy Williams, Dorothy Lynch Homestyle and Light and Lean Dressing, endless flavor abilities. when I start preparing for Rutgers, the first thing I'm like is, well, who on this team do I remember? And I'm like, Ariella Garates, no. And, you know, gone to the WNBA. Mael Giles, no, graduated. And I start looking at him, I'm like, well, who do I know on this team? I saw Taya Singleton on tape. I'm like, I remember her. And then the rest of them, 8 transfers.
Right.
I mean, they're like the Oakland Raiders of the early 80s. How hard is that to scout? Do you just throw out last year's scout?
Well, in some regards that you do, because they are completely different when it comes to personnel. And the one thing about Rutgers transfers is the number of 1,000-point scorers that they brought into their program in transfers is unbelievable. They have fabulous players that have had great careers, that are experienced, and so I think with a group like that, sometimes maybe the early season that you're still working things together and figuring some things out. But I think here lately, if you really look at the games and not just the win-loss or the record, the competitive spirit, they're putting some of those pieces together. Those transfers are really learning how to play with each other, and they're becoming even more dangerous. And so I think that they've done a really good job with those transfers of putting very talented players, and now they're starting to figure out how to work together.
I think it all starts with Ash Brown, 6'1", post. She plays a lot bigger than that. Transfer from Ball State. She is the nation's active leader in double-doubles. And it seems like if she gets the ball on the block, it's 2 points. She's very good at angling herself, fading away to get a jumper. What makes her so good where it seems like she's always getting a double-double?
Well, she has 68 offensive rebounds already. And when I was looking at it statistically speaking, Lex right now leads our team with 49 offensive rebounds. The girls sometimes tease Lex because a lot of those are her own misses. But sometimes she's been accused a little of padding stats in that area. But Lex is really talented at that, at being able to not give up on plays and go get her own. We feel like she's incredibly talented, and she has 49 offensive rebounds, but Ash Brown has 68. I mean, which one of the best offensive rebounders in general, but offensive rebounders in the country. And that makes her incredibly dangerous and hard to defend.
402-413-2400 is the number. If you'd like to visit with Amy Williams, you can call or text on the Sports Nightly hotline. It's brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. You know, when you watch Rutgers play, they're not Iowa. I mean, it is not going up and down. They're not trying to get to 90 points as fast as they can. In fact, they muddy it up. That would be the word I would use. As you look up and you're like, man, the tempo here. Is there anything that you want to do to try and speed that up? Or are you going to get in trouble? Is some of their defense trying to speed you up? I mean, are you going to have to kind of get in a game where the tempo's kind of muddy?
It's possible that we won't be able to control tempo as much as we normally do in that area. And so what we need to be able to do is just really focus on execution and making sure that we're getting good quality shots on each possession. Turnovers, we've got to steer clear, obviously, but I'm okay with us working a little extra if it leads to great shots at the rim for our team and our execution is good.
402-413-2400 is the number right here in the capital city. Let's go to Lyle. Lyle, you're on with Coach Amy Williams.
Hi, Coach. I live in Lincoln. I drove over to the Iowa game to watch it. I remember one particular inbounds play that was just amazing. In the second half, I was over closer to behind the team in the corner. We were thrown in the ball. I think it was Izzy Bourne who caught the ball and passed it to somebody cutting down the lane for a perfect, beautiful layup. My first thought is, why doesn't that work all the time? And tell me about setting that play up. It was in the second half, I know that. I can't remember who got the layup, but I thought it was just amazing, and I'm sure it was drawn up and designed and worked the way you designed it. What keeps that from working more often? I'll hang up and listen to your answer. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Lyle, for the question. First of all, thank you for driving over to Iowa City to be there to support us and paying such close attention to those details. That was Whit Brown that got a layup off that back screen action. What a great pass from Izzy Bourne. A lot of things have to kind of work together in order to execute well for that type of play, but I think the timing was really perfect on that back screen so that Iowa, and also when you have a player that is a shooting threat that is setting that back screen, they're much less likely to want to help or hedge off on that back screen. And we had shot the ball pretty well in our position, our post position, with Lex hitting 6 threes, and Annika Stewart also knocked down one from perimeter and is very dangerous out there. So, you know, they got to set that back screen. Their defender stay hugged up to them because they didn't want to give up another 3, and that led to perfect timing on that back screen for Whit. So that was fun to see that execution. Maybe the very next sideline play, we did not execute to perfection. We did not screen anybody. Nobody had to help, and then we had to take a much more contested shot. So sometimes it works well, and today one real point of emphasis for us in practice was to continue to work on the small details like that of our sideline execution, late game situation, baseline inbounds execution, certain scenarios, so that we can have more possessions like the one you alluded to where we created a wide open layup for ourselves.
Well, we appreciate the phone call. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We'll have more with Coach Williams and your calls at 402-413-2400, and your text when the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show returns in a few moments.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at BeardmoreSubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline, and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950. And with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions in drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Is your business's data cabling outdated? Do you need help with fiber optic cabling projects? Give Kidwell a call. Kidwell doesn't just help you handle today's demands, they help you see beyond, making sure that every component works in unison to meet the demands of your growing business. Kidwell keeps your connections clearly labeled and organized, maximizes performance, and saves time when any maintenance or service is needed. Don't settle for patchwork quick fixes. Make Kidwell your technology partner. Visit KidwellInc.com. That's KidwellInc.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at BeardmoreSubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. 402-413-2400, the number if you'd like to call or text and talk with Coach Amy Williams. And let's go to Richard here in the capital city of Lincoln. Richard, you're on with Coach Williams.
Coach Williams, I don't want to get you in trouble with Coach Hoiberg, but some of the people that are better observers of basketball than I am have said that the difference between the success of the women's team and the men's team is that your players are patient enough to wait to take a good shot. How do you coach that as a coach?
Thank you, Richard, for calling in. And yeah, it just complete apples and oranges. Every time I ever hear somebody talking about trying to compare the two, I just cringe. Number one, I'm in year 6 and Fred is in year 3. Number 2, the men's game and the women's game are complete and totally different games with not just 20-minute halves versus halves and quarters and advancing and all the rule differences that we have, but just the fact that half of their game is played above the rim and ours is all played below it, and you know, there's just different strategies and different things. But I absolutely enjoyed the heck out of the opportunity to be at the men's game last night and to watch Trey come back out onto the court for that team. I think as we've learned over the last couple games is that when you're shorthanded, and particularly with a leader like Trey McGowan's, who just brings so much to their team and stuff, I just feel so excited for the group to kind of have him back out there to really energize that team. And I think we're going to see a really good surge from our men's program here down the stretch.
Richard, we appreciate the phone call. 402-413-2400 is the number. When we return, we'll take a look at What's on Tap, presented by Bud Light. And we'll visit more with Amy Williams in a few moments on the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show. Stay right there.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
A shield against the elements. Comfort in the midst of chaos. Shelter in the aftermath of destruction. For 75 years, Shelter Insurance has remained true to our promise to be there when you need us most. This is the heartbeat of our company, our why. Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life.
See Shelter Agent Mike Sheffert, Craig Kerr, or Eli Sinney in Lincoln for a free insurance review.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card. Free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Women's Basketball Radio Show. Matt Coatney with the coach, Amy Williams. Huskers take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights on Thursday at 7 p.m. Now it's time to see What's on Tap, presented by Bud Light. That's What's on Tap, 7 o'clock on Thursday night. And then the Huskers take the road to face the Illinois Fighting Illini on Sunday. That'll be an afternoon game at Illinois at 2 p.m., and then the Huskers return home for 3 games after that. So that's what's coming up on tap. That's a pretty quick turnaround. Thursday, and then you really only get a day here, and then you have to fly there on Saturday. Right now you're in the meat grinder. I mean, you are in middle of January. You're in the dead middle of winter. Everybody's been through the meat grinder, but now you add COVID into it. I think that's the thing that's been... You know, I didn't travel with your team last year. I think that's the thing that's been really strange for me this year is you walk in the gym and you don't know who's going to be there for the other team. You walked into Michigan State and Dee Dee Hageman is out. I see now Moira Joyner is out for the year with concussion protocol. You walk into Indiana, no Mackenzie Holmes. Is there anything as a coaching staff you can do to try and mitigate some of the unknowns, or is that just the world we're living in right now?
I think it's the world we're living in, Matt, and I'll tell you that there's always the element of injury in a regular college basketball season, and injuries kind of come up. But then when you add to that, different schools starting back up with classes at different times and having different requirements, and some schools are requiring everybody to COVID test, some schools aren't, and so there's a lot of kind of people who are completely asymptomatic that are getting caught up from the stories we're hearing from other conference schools and whatever, where they may be not having any symptoms and would not otherwise know, but they're doing mandatory testing for school to start back up, and then they're getting kind of caught up. And I think so there's that whole added layer of not just the typical injuries that come in a college basketball season, but then also the positive COVID tests that are sending kids into COVID protocols, and that's just doubled, I think, the uncertainty that's coming with every game.
Well, today, I believe, was the first day of the new semester. What does that mean for a college sports team? Do you hit the brakes a little bit, or do you have to? I mean, let players find their classes. What happened with your team today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the first day of class. I think the girls are. I think there's a part of them that really enjoys the semester break because they feel like, okay, this is like what it's like to be a professional athlete. Like, I get up and the only thing I have to think about today is what I need to do to train my body, to take care of my body, to do. But I think as coaches, sometimes we enjoy once we get back into a routine and a rhythm, and the girls are used to kind of going to class and doing their regular routine. I think sometimes for us as coaches, we're excited to get back into that routine. But the girls seemed excited today, and first day of classes, and
they seem excited every day though. What was different about today? Your team always just smiling and happy, and everything just seems so. I mean, they're not drinking a Kool-Aid or anything. It just seems like how they are. So what was different today? They were even more excited, you think?
I think so. I don't know. That's
great.
We were sharing stories on the circle today of just Martin Luther King Day yesterday, and some of their experiences there and what they enjoyed about that, and then first day of classes, and I think they all seem to be pretty excited, so we'll take it.
I love that. On our text line, don't know who this is from. It says AP Top 25 doesn't have Nebraska getting a single vote. They are wrong. We're getting better, and wins will come. Go Big Red. The fans love this team. I know the fans love this team. I was so happy with Eddie Messel, the weekend sports anchor on KOLN, Channel 1011 here in Lincoln, because he put up the net evaluation rankings in a graphic. It shows Nebraska 12th. The other night, I've been trying to get people to look at that, because at the end of the year, the AP Top 25 poll does not help you get into the NCAA tournament, and the net evaluation tool does. And I think it speaks to the quality of opponents you've played and the quality of wins you have, that you're still 12 after going through a pretty rough stretch here, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what we're going to continue to focus on, and really just for us, it's just, are we becoming a better team every time that we get a chance to be out? And while it's a little bit hard sometimes with the adversity that's been thrown our way, and we feel like in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, this is really going to benefit our team, and it's just giving us really valuable experience and valuable growth that we're going to need at some point later as we start pursuing into postseason play. So we're excited for that, and we're just going to keep controlling what we can control and focusing on what we can focus on. And that's every day just getting better, and every game trying to improve.
How many threes have you told Alexis Markowski she needs to hit against Rutgers? Just so I can get ready, because I was not ready for that the other night.
Nah, I'm really just focusing Alexis Markowski on how many rebounds she needs to get against Rutgers, and that's going to be where we really kind of key in, and I feel like the offensive execution and shots will come.
That's Amy Williams. I'm Matt Coatney. Good night, Nebraska.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
We make car buying easy at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley, Iowa, where we have a full lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs. See what Chevy has to offer and explore the 2022 Traverse, Blazer, or Equinox. From solo missions to a party of 5, our SUVs are dressed to impress with spacious seating and cargo area so everybody can enjoy the ride. Find new roads in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseGM.com.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
You live in a smart home powered by Cox Internet, so you're not thinking about the pizza delivery. You're thinking how nice it is to get everyone together for a fun night. You're not thinking about the pizza, maybe just a little.
Cox Home Life. Show me the front porch camera.
Pizza!
View your Cox Home Life cameras right from your TV using your Contour voice remote. Visit cox.com/thisishome to learn more.
Advertised features require subscription to Cox Internet and Contour TV. A high-speed internet connection is required.